to another episode of Seri Cooks. Thank you guys for viewing in the first time. I know it was a little rough, I apologize, but I got some help on making a second video. So today we're actually going to make braised Cambodian pork belly with eggs, also known as Sechuk Bechon, or call Sechuk Bechon with Bong Tia. I know my Cambodian's not perfect, but welcome to my kitchen. If you guys want to take a little closer look, long story short, I'm very poor, so I'm working on it, and hopefully we'll get some upgrades in the future. So let me come and show you some of the ingredients that we'll be using for today. So first, very important is that you have a great pot to cook with. This is a ceramic pot, and you want to make sure that you get one with a heavy bottom. So you hear that? This thing weighs like about a good 2 pounds, so you get a good workout in between. All right, let me show you the ingredients. We've got some 3 layer pork here, also known as pork belly. I already cut it up. You want to cut it up into 1-inch pieces, just about. And you can see that beautiful fat on there, and then the meat as well. So this is about 3 pounds. So we're going to use that for today. We have got some eggs that we boiled already. What you want to go ahead and do is just go ahead and get it up to a boil and let it boil for about a minute, and then you just put the lid on and you turn off the gas. Let it sit there for 10 minutes and then submerge it in cold water. So let me show you some of the ingredients that we'll be using today. Okay, we're gonna start off with our wet ingredients. This is fish sauce. And then we've got some thick soy sauce. We've also got superior dark soy sauce. All right, and then for the dry ingredients, we have sugar, we have star anise, and we have some dried red peppers or red chilies. And then we also have ground black pepper. And then I already went ahead and cut up some garlic. This is about almost a clove, so you can use this. And then I also have a little piece of ginger that we're gonna go ahead and grate into it. And then for a side dish, Caw is really great with side items. So I'm gonna chop up some green tomatoes later. I got these from my coworker at work, Diana. So thank you for that, appreciate it. This is straight from our farm or garden. And then we're also go ahead and get some cucumbers in there as a side. So secret ingredient is Coco Rico coconut soda. I've seen Vietnamese dishes use just coconut juice. You can go ahead and do that as well. Certainly, you know, recipes can vary, and this is the way my dad made it. So just following his footsteps. Okay, all right, so the first step that we're gonna do, we're gonna bring this pot up to a medium high, or actually medium low, and we're gonna go ahead and put 3 tablespoons of sugar into the pot. So my dad loved this dish. He like cooked it every day, pretty much. And then when it would go bad, he'd make like another batch of it. So, you know, like people remind you of smells and sounds and stuff like that. So like with my dad, it was always like call Sechuk Bechon. So I mean, he's not with us anymore, but making this kind of reminds me of, you know, those days after school here. We got about 3 tablespoons of sugar in there. I think that we should actually add a little bit more. So, boom, bang. And what we want to do is we want to wait for this to go ahead and caramelize. And then once it does, we'll go ahead and add in our garlic and then kind of stir it around. So it's probably going to take about a good 3 minutes or so. So we'll check on that in a little bit. Alright, so we see that the sugar has started to caramelize. This is about after 5 minutes or so of medium-low heat. So what we're going to do, we're just going to go ahead and throw in that garlic. So get a nice little stir on that. Very important, you don't want to burn your garlic, or else this dish is going to be pretty much done. Garlic, once it's burned, you get like a really bitter taste. So we're going to let this, let's say about fry for about a good minute or 2. So now we're gonna go ahead and throw in our pork belly. Go ahead and just like, don't dump it all in at once. Try to get it all throughout the pan. You wanna get some really good browning on here. So make sure that you really cover the surface of the dish, and make sure you always wash your hands. Okay. And we're just gonna go ahead and lightly go ahead and stir this around. But we'll go ahead and just let it brown. So we're gonna go ahead and season our pork belly. I'm using ground black pepper. And you can just be as generous as you want, depends on how much you like black pepper. I really like black pepper, so I'm gonna use a lot. And then I mentioned the chilies from before. They actually have these dried chilies at the Asian market. They're really good. They're not that spicy, but you know, they're certainly optional. I'm just gonna go ahead and crumble them up. I really like this. And then what we're gonna do, we're gonna go ahead and add in about 1.5 cups of water. And at this point, we do have it on about a medium heat. And just gonna go ahead and keep stirring it. So we're giving this a good stir. It's on a medium heat right now. We're gonna add the wet ingredients at this point. So we're gonna add the dark soy sauce. I'm gonna put in about 2 tablespoons of this stuff. Just go ahead and just sprinkle that. This is gonna give it that rich, dark color. Actually, a thick soy sauce. It's a little tough to get off, but here we go. You can tell like this is a little bit thicker, and this is gonna really coat that pan. Boom. A tablespoon of fish sauce, and this is basically like our salt. There's no need to put regular salt in this because the fish sauce is really salty on its own. And you just continue to stir, and we just let the pork really absorb all that great liquid. All right. Okay, so once you see that it starts to boil, add in another cup of water. We really want to dilute all that salt that we had from the soy sauce, from the fish sauce, and this is gonna come out really well, you can tell. Okay, so at this point you're starting to see it boil. What you want to do is go ahead and raise the temperature to a medium-high heat. You want to bring this to a rapid boil. Okay, secret ingredient that we got here is Cocoa Rico soda. This stuff is great because the sugars in it help the pork to cook down once it gets to that slow cook. If you've seen like barbecue videos, they do like Dr. Pepper soda or Coca-Cola to help the ribs reduce. This is gonna help it reduce. So 1.5 cups. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and boil that in there. Just dump that. Look at that, you're starting to see that sugar react. Starting to see that pork break down a little bit. It's smelling really good at this point, you guys. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna grate some ginger. And this is actually gonna kind of just get it to really pop, I think. The ginger just adds a lot of brightness to the dish. Go ahead and give that a stir. And then let it come to another boil. I say let it boil for about a good 10 minutes. And then we're gonna reduce this to a low. And then we're just gonna put the cover on and let it cook real slow for about 1.5 to 2 hours. And then it's gonna come out super delicious. And right before we put the lid on, we're gonna go ahead and throw in about 3 cloves of star anise. And you don't have to crumble this. What this does is just adds a different depth or another depth of flavor to this dish. It really gives that 5 spice flavor that you get from Chinese cooking. Let it boil for about another 5 minutes, and then we'll throw the lid on and put it on a low heat and let it cook for about 1.5 to 2 hours. And really, the longer that you cook it, the more tender that this is gonna be. I mean, so once you see the rapid boil, what you wanna do is go ahead and lower that heat. Bring it to a really good low. And then you're just gonna cover the pot. And then set your timer for 90 minutes. We'll see you in a little bit. Alright, so it's been cooking for about an hour now. What we're gonna do is just skim off that fat that's on top. So, you know, when you're cooking with pork belly, it is a decent amount of fat, so you can see that. You see that? Alright, so we're just gonna toss that. So at this point, we've been cooking for almost about an hour and a half. I think it's safe to go ahead and put in our eggs. You can see that it's still simmering. It's really beautiful at this point. Let's go ahead and put these into the soup. Kind of just place them all throughout. Make sure that they get submerged. And then what we'll do is we'll end up cooking this for about another, I'd say 20 minutes or so. And you just want to make sure those eggs really get in there. And then they'll take on this beautiful golden brown color. So, yeah, get in there, boy. There you go. And we'll go ahead and just put the lid back on. And we'll let it cook for another 20 minutes. As you can see, guys, we have the finished product. Go ahead and just plate it up with some rice, some vegetables, and then we've got one egg, a couple pieces of pork in there. So go ahead and enjoy that. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. Bye. Certainly use that as well, but this stuff is really gonna help